In the year 2021, I remember it was the night of October. I remember that night specifically because I was very tired. I had been working on a project at work, and for about 3 days, so that was the third night. And that night I was really tired, and it would have taken a gunshot to have woken me up from sleep. And as I was sleeping, suddenly I heard a lad shout, "Sister Ijoma, come and see Daddy." And so I jarred awake from my sleep, and I cannot even remember how I ran to my father's room. The picture that I saw left me speechless. I saw my father on the floor, blood coming out of his mouth. He was not conscious. My mom was crying. My brother stood frozen. And this was about 12:30, 1 a.m. at night. And as the blood was coming out of my father's mouth, I just snapped into action and I turned him to the side so that the blood would come out because he was struggling to breathe. And I knew that it would be a matter of seconds before we would lose him. So I turned him to the side in what we call a recovery position, and then the blood came out of his mouth and he was able to breathe. Now the general consensus in the house was that we should wait until early in the morning because we had heard gunshots earlier that night, and we should wait till the earlier hours of the morning to take my dad to the hospital. But I knew, based on something I had read long ago, that he most likely was having a stroke, and time was of the essence. And so we rushed my father to the hospital. Now, I was about to heave a sigh of relief when we got to the hospital, and then I went into the doctor's quarters where the doctors were, and I rushed in there shouting about the emergency and telling them, it is a dire situation. My father is about to die, and there's blood coming out of his mouth. And the doctor turned up to me and said, blood, K. I hope it is not Ebola. And the doctors who I thought would rescue my father were laughing. And it took a nurse, a male nurse, to come help my father, wheel him from the chair, from the car, into the place. He set a bed outside. There was no more space inside the rooms. And he left my dad there to go look for a way to help my dad. And while my dad was there laying on his back, unconscious, once again he was choking like he couldn't breathe because the blood again had filled up his mouth. And so I rushed to him because he was panting like someone about to give up the ghost. And as he lay panting there, I once again went to my brothers and said, let's turn him again to the side. And the blood came out of his mouth and he was able to breathe. Now, in this thing that happened, I did not learn medicine in school. I studied microbiology. And as a microbiologist, we are not taught about the anatomy of a human being. We are taught about microorganisms. So if you ask me about streptococcus, if you ask me about staphylococcus or penicillin, I can tell you about it, but not about what to do when someone has an emergency. Now, how did I know to turn my father to the side so that he could breathe? At 2021, 17 years before that, 2004, if I'm not mistaken, I was reading on the internet, just a girl who loves reading. I was just checking what to do when someone is drowning, what to do, how to help someone recover from this. I was just reading casually, what to do when someone is choking, just reading. And this knowledge I had read about 17 years ago was what came to my rescue. Because at that time when I saw my father lying there, my mind was blank. But something I had read that had been saved at the back of my head was what kicked in. Because like it or not, it would not have been the stroke that would have killed my father. It would have been the fact that he didn't have oxygen because the blood was blocking his airways. Now, why am I here today? I am here to ask us something. We spend almost every day of our lives watching skits. We can watch YouTube videos. It's always fun. We even pass on these videos to the next person. How many times do you watch about how to carry out a Heimlich maneuver? A Heimlich maneuver is what to do when someone is choking. How many times have you watched how to carry out CPR? The truth of the matter is you do not need to have a medical degree to do this. So the essence of this is just to tell you that anybody can learn how to help save a life. So you can take a course, even online or physically. There are courses you can do to get the certification. You can even read online, learn the signs of someone who is about to have a stroke. The truth is, some of these things you learn can actually help save one life. So that is all I'm here to say today. Google it, read online, and learn how to save a life. You can also learn to save one life. Thank you very much.